Hi PT, if you remember we had spoke in live live show because of my problem about loading character data and vitals. I had added some debug code, one in player character when it's loading the vital, one in game setting when I'm loading the vital with vital name, and one in a vital class in getter and setter classes. So going back to Unity, let me show you first what happens. This is my attribute class. Okay, I'm loading it and I'm getting all zeros, but it's a little slow because of recording. Okay, but if I just go to player character and make these commented, then going back to Unity and playing the game, you can see that my attributes are loading correctly, my skills are loading correctly. Come on, I want to see the skills. Oh man. Okay, but the problem is, as soon as I load the vitals, all the numbers become 0. So now let's take a look at the debug messaging I'll get. I'll just switch back this, and as you can see, I load the skills before clearing the modifiers, and it worked. So you don't need to clear modifiers for it. But let's see what happens in Unity with debug code. I clear it, and when I play, oh sorry, when I played first time in loading, before I going in attribute or skill classes, I get this. I'm loading the vital health and I'm setting it to 60 for the current value. It's okay. The energy is being 120, and that's correct, and mana is being set to 50. So up until now everything's okay, means that my player character is okay, and my reading the values from registry is correct, and assigning it to the current value of vitals is correct. But the problem is here. I'll switch back to attributes and I pause the game, and let's see the vitals here. So now let's take a look. Okay, up until now I'm setting the mana to 50. Now I'm reading these. The first time the modified state, the adjust base value is being called, and here it is. The base value is equals to 0, buff is 0, and mod is 0. Again, now I'm reading the vital. Here it is the situation. My base value was 60, adjusted base value is 0, so the base value is greater than 0, so the current value will become 0. And when I am reading it back, again the base value will become 0, and current value of the vital will become 0. Same goes on, because now my base value is 0, and etc. Here is my second value, that's energy. My base value is 120, adjusted base value is 0, and current value is 0. This is the cause of my vital class, and checking if my current value is greater than adjusted value, then current value is becoming equals to adjusted base value. I don't get it why the adjusted base value is being called 3 times uh, and is becoming 0 again and again and again, so that when I'm getting the value, the base value is becoming 0, and so I'm having these zeros. Okay, this is one problem. The other problem is, why do I have zeros for attributes? Because when I looked at attribute class, it's inherited from base state and not modified state. And what happens to modified state? It shouldn't tweak these numbers to 0, except that I'm doing something wrong. So I just want to show you the classes. My attribute class is simple. It's just inherited from base state. My base state class is well documented, of course, but here's the adjusted base value, and it's buff value plus base value, nothing else. I know that these are not calling, and this is the construction. My modified stat has the calculate modifier value, and it's becoming mod value plus equals integer of my attribute adjusted base value multiplies attribute ratio. And so the adjusted base value here is for the attribute, because in constructor we define it as attribute, so it should be the base state as it shows in Visual Studio, so it won't it shouldn't be changed here. And here is adjusted base value for my vitals, and here is the mod value, base value, and buff value. So I don't get it why my attributes are becoming 0, and that's the real problem, I think, because of course if my attributes is becoming 0, then it will change the vitals to 0, and of course the skills will become 0, but no place here, even in clear modifiers, I'm not tweaking the attributes at all, as you can see. So why the attributes are becoming 0? That's the real problem. And in player class, I'm loading attributes first, then loading the skills, and I'm clearing the modifiers, so the mods will become 0 but not attributes, and then I'm loading the vitals. Maybe the problem is, I think when I'm loading the vitals, I'm calling this awake method here, so the player will become awaked, and this will awake the base character. Of course, the base character is a mono behavior, and in its awake I'm just putting some names level for EXP, but here is the nice thing. I'm changing the primary attribute to becomes a new attribute. Normally when I'm reading the player awake and I'm awaking the base method, it will tweak the base character, and it will change the primary attribute to become a new and fresh attribute. But in the same time, I'm set primary attributes, and in set primary attributes I'm just creating a new one and assigning the name to this one. So no values is being set here, and I think that's the problem. So I maybe want to change this one in some other place. I'm not sure where it should be, but I think that it can be in load attributes, not in load vitals. So before loading the character data, it will be awaked. I'm not sure if it works, but let's try it. And yeah, that worked. The problem was we are loading the awake method of player character in load vitals. It should be in load attributes, and the first on top of that. I'm not sure if you had done this correctly or I'm doing something wrong, but if you had your load player awake method in vitals, just tweak it and move it upper to load it on the first line in load attributes method. Thanks.